Okay guys, so this is the problem that we're gonna solve first, the smiley face one. Okay. um, all right, so this one is really important that you design it, otherwise we know what to do, right? Like it's a few circles and then lines, but arrangement, well, it's a emoji and should be symmetrical, so you should know where to put your eye and then nose and then mouth, right? So that's depending on the coordination, right? So if you try to brute force that, and then there's a lot of trial and errors, so it's good to kind of design it before, right? So so that's what I'm going to do over here. So um, all right, so um, so let's try to kind of center it around 0 0, right? So right here, so we're going to begin from there. So this is going to be x-axis, so 0 0, and I'm going to start drawing like that. Okay, so to draw that, I think I can use a circle, right? So I'm gonna but imagine this still the pen is drawing. Okay, so I'm gonna this is much cleaner, right? So that's why I'm gonna use something like this. Okay, and then like put it right here, and that's the face outline. Okay, and then two smaller circles for the eye end. So imagine now this is like the radius 100, right? So that means, so this diameter is 200, right? So and then we should know kind of we can eyeball the where should the left eye goes, and then where should the right eye goes, right? So another two circles, right? So let's say like somewhere here, right? And then we can actually copy that, and then put the other one somewhere here, right? So maybe we can adjust a little bit. Now if this is 200, then right here probably 100, so it's positive y is going to be positive 100, and then right here probably going to be like negative 50, right? So and then basically symmetrically we can design where should the right eye be, right? And accordingly, so after you basically draw the outline, like this one, and then turtle is right here, then to draw the left eye you first need to move here, right? So if you know this coordinate, and then you know where to do, and then basically the eye is going to be like 20-30 minutes radius circle, right? And then same here, right? So so basically and then basically come over here and then draw a line, right? So right, and then that's going to be the nose, right? And then only like from for the first run, just make it keep it simple, and then mouth also going to be a line. Okay, right, something like that. Okay, so if you align it to, for example, the bottom of the eye, and then it's going to be kind of like negative 50 to positive 50 kind of line. Okay, so basically let's say you have drawn, so first you have drawn the outline, you went to left negative 50, 100, and then have drawn your eye, and then you go over here somewhere, like and then or either you can go over here and then draw this line, or maybe you can go to this side and then finish the drawing the right eye, and then you come over here, draw the mouth, and then come over here and draw the nose. Okay, all right, and then this is as simple as that. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of math involved or anything. You just need to figure out those values, and then later you can adjust them. But do not try to like think a value and put those into this, like if you draw this one, it's really easy for you to make it like guess that value accurately. Okay, all right, so you're gonna go now and then do it. Okay, so I'm gonna write the plan. So anyway, so what is the what are the inputs? I think there are inputs here. No. Yeah, I think let me read the prompt. Um, yeah, write Python title program to draw a simple smiley face. We can draw. Yeah, I haven't given any input here, right? But you can pick two actually. All right. So if you want to improve later on, you can actually um, get the outline radius as an input and then scale everything down to that. All right. So the basically, so you take the face outline radius as an input and then scale the nose, the eyes, the mouth, everything according to that. Okay, you can do so, but I haven't given any input over here. So but if you want, you can actually do that. Okay, so and then we can do that later. So what's the output? So basically draw a smiley face, right? Simple smiley face. All right. So here are some matches. So flower is a good match because we use circles, right? Hexagon also match because we use go to there. Okay. So those are matches. All right. Step one. What's step one?
Are we assuming that we're at 0, 0?
What was that?
Are we assuming that we're at 0, 0?
Yeah. So assuming yes. Yeah, at 0, 0.
Draw a circle first.
Yeah. So let's draw the first outline, right? So I would write that as the first one. Okay. In this case, remember, if you are taking an input, then you can actually write input, let's say the face outline radius as the first step. Okay, because that's coming in as parameters. But later on, we're gonna change code into that. But for now, we're gonna actually write draw a fixed one. Okay. All right. So draw the outline, face outline. I would say, like, of radius 100, let's say. Okay. All right. So what do we have to do now? Two. It depends on what you are going to draw next, right? Yeah. Let's say draw the left eye. Okay. So remember this kind of algorithms we wrote in week 1, right? The stepwise refinement of an algorithm. Okay. So these are not new, right? So we have been doing that. Okay. All right. So to do that, right? So this is this involve multiple steps, right? So what, like 2.1 is going to be basically go to this is 101. So I would say go to, right, negative 50, 100, and then yeah. So I would say, like, with radius, I'm gonna say with 30, 20. Oh, this one I can kind of, we need to eyeball. Let's see. So this is this is I'll show. This is 100, and then this is going to be 40. Let's say, and this 20 is good actually. Okay, so 20. All right, and that means this one going to be go to, okay, negative 50, 100, because our radius is 100, so it's right in the middle. And if it's too much, we'll adjust. And then what do we have to do now? 2.2.
Go to the other location.
Before that, so we went to a location.
Oh, so we have to draw the eye.
We have to, yeah. Oh, I think you're right actually. I think we have to pen up before we go to, right. So 2.1 is going to be, right. So this is 2.2 actually. We have, otherwise we'll draw that line, right. So tail up, pen up, which is either is fine. So now go to and then tail down, right? So 2.3 is tail down, okay, and then 2.4 is going to be now what do we do? We draw the eye, right? Draw the left eye, right? So draw the eye. Um, left eye with no, we don't need to. Radius is already mentioned there. Okay, all right. So now what do we have to do? So we are now ready to draw the right eye, right? So I'm gonna copy paste that over here. Draw the right eye with radius 20. So we tail up, go to positive 50, 100, right? Because it's the other side of the y-axis, and draw the eye. So this should be, yeah. All right. So the eyes and things are taken care of. So then basically draw the mouth or nose. We'll say draw the nose. Okay. Draw the nose. So that one. So where do we need to go to? So 3.1. So this should be, sorry, this should be 3 and then 3.1, 2, 3 and 3, and this is step 4, and then 4.1. I highly recommend following this kind of numbering, guys. Okay, and imagine, right? Imagine, like, these are like main steps, and if this is going to be another function in your code, these are actually belong to that function code. And if you want to, right? So it has that clear criteria clarified, and if you, in case if you want to write a different function, it tells you you can do that, right? So the numbering suggests that. Okay. All right. So now we have to, I think we have to go somewhere. So this is 20, this is 50. So 50 plus 20, so 70. And oh, no, sorry, this is 100, 100 plus 20. So 120, and then we can stop somewhere at 50, right? So we're gonna go to so tail up again, and 4.2, go to what's the x value? Nose?
Nose is gonna be 0.
Yeah, so 0, yeah, 0, right? Symmetric, right? 0, and then it's actually 120. Okay, and then tail down, and then I'm going to copy paste and change, and then draw the nose. So 4.3 and 4.4. Okay, all right. Similar for the mouth. And again, guys, once you do this way, and you kind of you are clear what to do, right? So you're not totally blank, right? So that's why I highly suggest doing this way. Okay, and then we are practicing, so these are not that serious problem, but you will see that when you get to actually solve serious problems, um, practicing like this way would help. Okay, and you will automatically go in to do that. Okay, all right. So 5. So tail up, so this should be mouth, and go to so you can actually figure it out somewhere, like so this at the center. So this is going to be 50, so negative 50 to positive 50. Okay, so we're gonna move to this location from here. Oh, I think we made, yeah, I think we made a mistake. I'll show you what it is. Okay, so and then you can see that we can actually, yeah, it's a good way to show you that actually when you get your algorithm wrong, you will kind of get misled, but that's fine. So So this is going to be negative 50, and then let's say 40, negative 50, negative 40. So we're going to need to move there, right? So, all right. So negative 50, and then yeah, negative 40, or positive 40, sorry. So this should be negative 50 and 40. Okay. All right. So tail down and then draw the basically, to draw, basically you can, if you want, you can put forward by 100. Okay. And then you also um, draw the mouth, which is forward by 100. Okay. All right. There's a mistake in this algorithm. I'm going to show you what it is later. Okay. But it's a good way to show you guys it's totally okay, because this is the first algorithm, right? So yep. Oh, okay. There you go. Good.
No.
Oh, I misspelled draw. um, that's actually a problem with me. The letter behind, no, in front, come before the. It's a usual mistake. Somehow my brain get ahead. Draw. Yeah. All right. Okay. So we are ready to translate. So, and you can see that in this particular one, I'm not passing a turtle, right? I'm creating my turtle inside. Okay. Don't ask me why. Sometimes it's, if we are doing many things with turtles, it's good to create the turtle outside and pass the turtle. And sometimes in this case, just a complete drawing, so we can actually create that our turtle inside. Okay. All right. So it's that one reason. That could be one reason. um, yeah. All right. So we need to basically draw a circle, right? So that's a step one. Dot circle, and by 100, that's the diameter. That's our step one, right? The face outline. And basically we are going to go step two, and then tail up. So up, and then go to and negative 50, 100. Then tail down and then draw the eye, right? So down and then circle, and we set the, I think it's 20, right? Okay. All right. So so that's the left eye. At this point, you can check whether our code works. Okay. So let's do just that. Okay. So I'm going to call this function um, right here. Okay. I'm gonna leave the face size, so I think I shouldn't have that one, so leave that for now. Yeah, let's try this one. Yep. All right. Oh, it went the other way. I think I made the, yeah, so I put, yeah, so it should be negative 50, right? Yeah. All right. All right. guys, at this point you should all save it. Okay, I know, like, some of many of you having this issue losing your code and anything. What you need to do is click this save button, because this is a kind of really fragile tool. I mean, well, it's not I think they are trying to save resources. It's a free service, right? And it's not a commercial thing as well. They almost went bankrupt last semester. Yeah, actually, it's true, because we regularly get a message saying that it's time to quit, so saying something like that, because they don't have someone to donate money, so they are running out of time, and they don't have money. Somehow they found someone, actually, I guess. That's And we are not getting that message anymore, right? That they're still providing the free service. Okay, and this is a high school instructor, this who created this tool, yeah, for his student. Pretty much he created that, and then he basically enabled it for everyone. Okay. um so all right, so yeah, so save it, right? And then what you have to do is bookmark it, so that you don't lose that. Okay, so something, give it a title, and pick a location. You can create a bookmark folder in your browser, and do that. See that I have all of this my CS content in here, right? Something like that. So please do that. Okay, so that way you will not lose that, because as long as you keep this URL, you are safe, your code is there. Okay, all right, but there's no other place to save, right? If you want, you can also copy paste manually somewhere. It's kind of clunky back and forth process, right? But you can do so as well. Okay, so it works. Okay, so you can now go ahead and do the other eye. So step 3. So we're gonna basically tail up again. So I'm gonna copy paste, guys, so it's kind of clear what we have to do, right? So, and then I'm gonna go plus 50 and 100, and then do the right eye. Okay. And then next one is basically draw the nose. So I'm going to copy paste, and then again the same code, and then change. So tail up, go to where, basically go to 0 and 120. Okay. 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 Yeah, don't worry, I'm gonna post this code as well. Okay, so um yeah, so we're gonna it's 0 and 120, so we're gonna go there, and 120, and then we're gonna basically draw a line, right? So um all right, forward by how much is the nose length? Let's say 100. So let's see, I mean, we can put different value. All right, let's see how this is what I was talking about earlier, guys. There was a mistake in our algorithm. Okay, so let's see what it is. Okay, see that? What's the mistake we did? We correctly moved to the correct position, but we didn't turn, right? Because the turtle is already looking east, so it's actually went east. So we have, so that's why you don't have to completely solve in even in English the problem. You can try it out, translate, and then go back and correct your algorithm. Okay, so we're gonna go here and then correct your algorithm. Remember, right? So since we are translating from our algorithm to code, if it is wrong, yes, we're gonna get a wrong solution. That's why I keep telling you, make sure your algorithm is correct. That means your solution in English is correct. Okay, so, and in fact, that's actually a definition of an algorithm. It's algorithm must solve the problem correctly. Okay, all right. So we're gonna basically go over here, and then tail up and then turn, right? So we're gonna add one more step. So 4.2, and so it's, we have to turn actually right, right? So right by how much? 90 degrees, right? So let's add that, and then we'll have to do the same for drawing the mouth as well, right? So this one will be 3, 4, and then 5, and here also um, yeah, in this case turn left by um, um, either way is fine. I think before even you move, you can actually oops move, you can actually put it there. So 5.2, this should be right, I think left by 90. Okay. So 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so this should be 5.5. All right, so so we're gonna add that one. So over here, yeah, before that, right? So I'm gonna add it over here. Total dot right by 90. Okay, so let's check this one out. There you go. That's too long. So so you're gonna change that. I would say um, like 60. All right, so we are ready to draw the mouth. Okay, so this probably should be left by 90, and then go to negative 50, 50, I guess now. Yeah, 50 and positive, let's say 40. I think that's what we have in the algorithm. Yeah, so tail down, and then 4 by, let's say, 100. Okay, so let's try this one out. Yeah, there you go. So it doesn't smile though, right? So it's just a grumpy smiley face. Right, okay, so now how do we make it a wink?
We draw a circle, but we use a command to make it stop short.
Yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah. Basically, it's a piece of, it's an arc, right? It's going to be an arc. So it's a part of a circle. Okay. So we can actually do that. So instead of drawing a line, we're going to actually put a piece of, like, part of a circle which is going to be an arc. So that's what one. So I'm going to add that later, guys. Okay, so and then post my code. You can color this. Usually emojis are in yellow, so I tend to use yellow. So this is my complete solution over here. So I use input function. You can do so as well. So I actually make the outline a variable and scale it down. Okay, so it works with any outline variable. So you can do so.
Does that
Check.
mean that? Huh?
Yeah, go ahead.
Does that mean that you have to use fractions?
Yes, yeah. Basically, like, if you're face, it's makes sense to do so, right? So I mean, our face value and then our eyes and nose values are kind of um yeah, like ratios, kind of, right? So you can actually think of that way. So if it is 100 is your face radius, then like kind of 0.3 is going to be your 0.1 is going to be a radius of your eye, something like that. 0.1 of that radius. So that's the scaling.
If we're using like circle as 20, that would be 1/5.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. All right, so I'm going to put 100 over here, and then basically did that. Okay, so that's the emoji, right? All right, so and this is what I meant by arc. So part of the circle, it's roughly has the same radius. Okay, but yeah.
What's the name of the command you add the circle? It's like starts with an M, right?
Circle command.
Okay.
Oh, I can show you the place where I actually changed only the arc, and right here. But I'll post this code. Um, it's the this is the scaling. See that I have done that, right? This is the, I think this is the mouth, and you can see that the 75 is the arc angle. So if you don't put the arc angle, the arc angle is 360. We draw an entire circle. So this basically, angle of a circle is 360, right? So it's the angle at the center. So and if you, so that's the default. But if you put an angle over here, it's gonna only draw that arc. Okay, so that's that. So this is the line. All right. So let's. Any question on this one?
Can you show me what it looks like if you change 75 to 180?
Yeah, I will go. Yeah. So yeah, I can show you. So we draw this one now. Didn't, didn't click the button. Okay. Oh, see that? It's O because of the rotation. Okay, it's O. Okay. Yeah. All right. So it's a big wink. All right. Okay. So let's move on, guys. So we're gonna actually go to the side book. Um, any question before we start? Oh, not this one. We finished module 5, right? Okay. All right. So we already have been using variables, right? And then check our previous code. A turtle is a variable, right? So we have been creating them. So kind of like, we were immersing on it, right? So this is where we kind of actually seriously going to start on this one. Okay, but we can go fast now. We know what it is, right? All right. So so the way to create a variable is to use the assignment statement. Okay, so that's a fact. Okay, there are other ways in which you create variables, but most fundamental way is basically, you use assignment statement. Okay. All right. So and then basically assign the value it's supposed to be, and then use the equal sign. Okay. So it's kind of the way it's that you see it. You will see like it's kind of similar to algebra. Okay, but the underlying process is actually different. Okay, so we will soon see why it is that way. But it's for now it's okay to like think of like in the algebraic way, right? So for example, x equals 5, well, x value is 5. Okay, so right, um, and then okay, so so you can think of the variable as basically it's a placeholder value. Okay, so and that's what this animation actually shows you. Okay, so and it's a kind of comparison to algebra, right? So so if we start this one, okay, so x, we have three variables, x, y, z, right? So in programming we basically when we say x equals 5, basically it's kind of the arrangement in memory is like this. Okay, so all right, so and then we write it like this, right? So basically when we write y equals x, basically assigns y with the x value. Okay, right? So and if we go to the other end steps, okay, so now we are changing x to 3. Okay, So now you can see that then y's and value is gotten changed, right? So and if you do the same way in algebra, right? So this is one way to do that, right? So so x plus y is 5, x times y is 6, and then basically all right. So um, you can see that assignment statement look similar but have different meanings in algebra. Okay, all right. So so this is kind of a comparison. So this doesn't work this way with algebra. Okay, so um, that means basically, right? So equal sign isn't equals. It's basically tells you, it points to, kind of. Okay, so for example, let me actually show you over here, right? So I'm going to dump this one, guys. All right, so if I create a variable, right, x equals oops right, x equals, let's say 5, right? So this basically tells you that I have a 5 in somewhere in the memory, right? And it tells you x is actually pointing to that value, the place where 5 in memory. Okay, so so basically it's kind of like this, right? So we have a house address, and then basically house address tells you the location of the house in the United States. Okay, so basically, so this is the meaning of assignment statement. X is pointing to the the place where 5 is stored in the memory. Okay, so try, when you see the assignment statement like that, try to picture is always like that. X is pointing to 5. Okay, so that's really important. All right, so so let's continue. So, and you can see that x equals 5 is read as x is assigned with 5 or pointing to 5 as well. Okay, so and it works only from left to right. Okay, in an algebra, it's works either way, right? So it's always works with, in programming, in across languages, by the way, works from left to right. Okay, all right. So let's go and all right. So this one is actually kind of shows you that difference between algebra really clearly. Okay. So I'm going to actually get the Colab. This is not the one. All right. So let's go. Should be week 7, day 2, right? Okay. I'm going to create a x equals, let's say 10. Okay. And then let's print it. All right. So now what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to create this one, x equals x plus, let's say 20. Okay. And you can see that this is possible in programming. Okay. So how do we read this?
From top to bottom.
Yeah, that's correct. But how do we read line 3?
X is assigned the value x plus 20.
Yeah. So basically, if you want to take the previous value of x at 10 and reassign the new value to x again. Okay. So
Is that called stacking?
No, no. So this is actually a kind of reassignment. So basically, this is going to be the previous value of x, and then we add that to 20 at 20, and then take the new value and then reassign it to x. Okay, so and if you see that when you print it again, okay, so we'll see the new value going to be 30, right? So all right, okay, so and you can see that if we think of this algebraically, this is meaningless, right? Because in algebra this tells you 20 equals 0, which is wrong, right? So that's one reason that, you know, do not think algebraically when you have algebraic similar lines in code. Okay, so because this in algebra x and x cancels out, and then 20 becomes 0, which is not possible, right? Okay, so in programming, basically we take this as this is going to be previous value of x, and then we add 20 and then reassign the new value to x again. Okay, and there's a short form of this. Okay, so there's a shortened operator for this one, which is the elegant way to do this. It's actually plus equal, and we're going to come that to that one, but it's to point this out here as well. Okay, so there's a new operator that does the both the addition and then the reassignment together. Okay, see that over here, right? So we are first adding 20 to the previous value of x, right? See that plus comes first because we are doing the addition first. Okay, that's why it's plus equal, not equal plus. Okay, because we are adding x previous values of x to and 20 first, right? So that's why plus comes first. Then we are reassigning that new value to x again. So plus equals 20. Okay, all right, so if we print that, okay, and then we get the same result. Okay, all right, and not only this, there's a whole bunch of operators similar to this. You can have, so this is plus equal, you can have negative equals, you can have star equals to multiply, you can have negative equals to subtract, you can have divide equals to divide, you can have modulo equals to get the remainder, which we will encounter later in this module. Okay, all right, so all fundamental math operations have associated a short form that operator as well. Okay, so let's continue. All right, and then that is called the increment. So regardless the operator, we generally call them incrementation. Even though it's subtract equal, we call them incrementing. Okay, so basically it's a negative increment if it is subtraction. Okay, so kind of a small technical term. Okay, so all right. All right, so let's I think we can, no, this one is just printing. Can I go to the next one? Start, check. So I'm gonna, no, it's actually it's really stubborn, not allowing me to move on. That's fine. I want to go to the next one because this is really simple. Um, let's do that anyway. So assign variable to this one, right? So create variable and then assign 35. Okay, all right, check that. All right, so next level, let's see what is that. Integer, this one is read from input, representing the number of straw flowers picked. Assign integer number of statistics with the same number of flowers picked. So basically, if the number input is 7, then the output is 7 and 7. Okay, so basically you create another variable, right? This one, Oops. And down here, and what do we do? This one, right? All right, so it's still not there, but I wanted to go there. So all right, so but that's fine. Let's move on. Okay, guys. All right, identifiers. Okay, so we have been using several types of identifiers already as well. Okay, all right. So identifiers are the names that we use, right? So what are the types of names we have been using so far?
Maybe we have like the names using underscores.
Yeah, the types of names that we have been using so far.
Strings, integers.
Those are types. Names.
Like units in kilograms.
Yeah, so general names for those. One is variable name, right? Okay, that's one. Variable name has a name, right? Anything else that we have given a name for? Functions. Okay, that's second. What else? That's one more actually. There are also variable names. You can think of that way. Yeah, you're right though. Yeah, parameter names. That's a one very significant one we have been using. A name, but it's a different. It's not a variable name or it's not a function name, but it's a no. They are not names. Statements can have a name, usually variable names. So we are talking about names, and then one name we have been using is a variable name, and the other one we have been using is a function name. All right, and then he also said parameter names. That's also a name, right? Really similar to like a variable name. There is a one name we have been using.
I get a hint.
Appears on the top of the code, usually at the very top. No, on the very top. What we usually do on the very top. Yeah. So what is that? Oh, import is a reserved word. Yes. What is this? That's a module name. That's also a name. Okay, so module name. Okay, that was I was trying to. That was what I was trying to get out. Okay, so import is the keyword. Sorry, the keyword, right? But this is the module name. Modules has name. So variable has names, function has name, module has name. All three we commonly call. Maybe there are when you go to more advanced class, you will learn classes has name as well. So we call all of them identifiers. Okay. All right. So let's get our break, guys. So be here around 12:08.
What's the difference between module and function?
Yeah.
Module and function. What's the difference?
Oh, module is a bigger entity, right? Module can have several functions or even classes as well. And then it's a single. It can run as a single unit. Okay. So function is a basically accomplishes a particular task.
So multiple functions put together.
Yeah, can be inside the module, and this is actually a this whole program is a one module, and that's why we have the guard over here. I will explain that in week 9 how it works actually. So we call this a guard. The reason we have this way is that we can use this entire set of code as a separate module and an import. Let's say we want to do something else with this code, we can import this code. Okay. So this is the guard. Okay. So and that's how you basically modularize an incremental development. So you can basically use a previously written set of code in a new program by importing that code. So this guard is really important to be able to do that. Okay. So let's watch our video. So So I just published it. It's actually let me see where this is. It should be in module 6. If not, yeah. So it's in module 7. Sorry, it's in module 7, guys. But I'll probably move it to the module 6 because we are doing it in module 6. This one. Do you guys have access? It's in module 7. Okay, it's published. Okay, so let me see. I think I have. Yeah. So this is I talk about the concept mapping. Um, in regards to as a submission way for the midterm, right? So this is one of the resource actually you guys can watch how to create a concept map, and you can create a, let's say, pick a concept from this class and then elaborate it in a concept map to the class, right? That's uh, rather easy actually, even easier than writing a essay, I would say. um, Generating a comprehensive concept map. Okay. All right. So we're gonna talk about identifiers. So there's a certain way that we should name them. Okay. And then in regarding to, let's say, variable name or function names, make sure to make them expressive. Really. Okay. So that means you can use a underscore symbol to separate those wordings. Okay, and you cannot use minus. So basically, inside you cannot use any mathematical any special symbol except the underscore inside the name. Okay, so only you can use is actually an underscore inside the name. And also you cannot use a reserved word as a name. It's like, in English we don't use and for we don't name a person with and, right? And I think it's really rare. Same for like r, right? We don't name a person with r, right? So it's kind of reserved for the language, but will is there, right? Kind of an outlier, right? Right. And then yeah, so that's that. And then the names are case sensitive. Okay, so be careful with that. We usually, if it is a variable name, we usually start it with a small letter. Okay, and in Python, the recommended way to name is that you can connect the parts of the name with underscore. We call it actually the snake case. Okay, so snake case way of writing. Um, there's a camel case and there's a snake case. I think Java prefers camel case. Camel case means each parts of the name, the first letter capitalized. So it's like a camel's hump, a camel case, right? And for example, like this is if I write, let's say, first name, right? First name, right? This is camel case. See the hump right here? That's why you call the camel case, because the parts of the inner pieces, you capitalize the first letter of that. Okay, so Python do not prefer this way of naming. Python prefer first name like this. All right, so right, so basically we call this the snake case because kind of it's a snake. You can actually extend whatever the amount where you want, right? So that's that. And then the first letter capitalization is usually we are not covering that topic in this class. If it is a class name, then we have to capitalize the first letter. For example, let's say I'm writing a class for this class, so um, I would say like CS 110A, kind of like, like this. I will write it like this. I mean, I'd say, um, let's say I'm representing a student, so class student, it's something like this. Okay, see the capitalization of the first letter, but we are not talking or learning in object oriented topics in this class, so we will not encounter that often. Okay, all right. So so that's for use of capital letters. All right, and we can start a variable with an underscore. Okay, so that's the only exception, as to, we cannot actually start a name with any special symbol except underscore. All right, for example, can anyone recognize that we have been using that for a while, and where? That's underscore. That's what my question is, this way of naming. See that in it over here?
I mean, I see that used in name.
Yeah, and then I think you had the same answer, right? So this is the one, right here, right? That's a variable, right? But it's actually kind of weird, right? So it's start with double underscore and then end with double underscore, right? We call these internals, right? So we don't usually, in general, create our own variable this way. So it's, as a fact, you have to remember that it's a kind of style that Python keep it for naming its own internal variables. Okay, so let's keep it that way. So this way of variable naming, Python uses it for its own purpose for internal variables. We call them internals. And later on in object-oriented programming, you will use, by the way, this way of naming for your own purpose as well. Okay, so, and then this is, what is this? Is this a variable or something else?
I mean, when we call main, we don't use the underscores, so I'm confused.
Yeah, this main is a function, right? So
But then why the underscores change the name of it?
yeah, so that's why my question, like, is this the name or something else?
There must be something going on with the double underscore.
Okay.
Because when you call main, it assumes that the name is main.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that. Okay, so my question right now is, is this a variable name or something else?
It's something else.
Yeah, what is that?
It's a string.
It's a string, right? It's a string. It's a value. It's not a name. It's a value. Okay. So basically, it's saying that if this variable name has this value, then saying that call run this code. Okay. So basically, so I'm going into your question. This is a function. It's the main function. It's the main program. So this is where we are calling it. Okay. So basically, this say checking that basically this code, basically whether this code has this value or something else. If this has that value, then run the main program. That's what it tells. But we're going to learn about this syntax in week 9, so don't worry about it. Okay, so for now we are using it. Okay, but this is, again, this is a value. It's a string, right? Who gives that? Pretty much Python gives it. Okay, so we are actually checking it, right? Yeah, so that's about that. Okay, so I can show you guys where it is actually. Okay, so I'm gonna load Python over here. Okay, so all right, so the way to check this internal is actually the dir function. Okay, so I'm going to use dir. Okay, like this. So it's kind of, the name is suggesting the directory function. So it's basically it's gonna kind of give you a dump of what Python have already loaded into the memory. So you can see that, right? Do you see that? This is the guy. That's the name. All right. So basically, if we click on this, check this, and then like this, see that it's actually main, right? So Python does it. Okay. So and then you can see that these are all internals that Python loaded, and then they are residing in Python's virtual memory. Okay. I just check what they are, right? So using this dir function, this is a really dir is a really valuable built-in function, and you can always check uh, um, using dir what you have in Python's memory. Okay, so if I create a variable over here, x equals, let's say 20, right? Now when you try dir, see what happened. That x is also here now because you created that variable. So it's basically give you a picture of what current Python's memory. Okay, the things we have in there. Okay, and then there this is later on we will learn that this square two brackets, it's actually a list. Okay, so they are all coming in as string literal values. Okay,
So
yes,
those, go ahead.
yeah.
So those double underscores are part of those names. Those.
Yeah. But that's a way of notation, basically way of you keeping it to like way of separating Python's own variable with ours, kind of. Okay, all right. So all right. So and then you can actually check what built-ins are, and you will see that actually let's try that anyway. I think this value to this one as well. Yeah, it's actually a module built in. It's actually all the built-in functions is coming from this module. Okay, loaded. Okay, all right. So let's go. All right. Yeah. So this is my other place I wanted to go. So I highly recommend you all check this PEP8. Okay, click on that. Oh dear, it's actually the links is broken. So I don't know why it shouldn't be. I mean, they probably should probably not aware of this. So the link is broken. So let's say let's Google it together, guys. PEP8. So this is the Python's style guide. Okay. So this is basically saying like this is like in English writing you may have heard Chicago style guide. And there are guides like certain styles of writing in English. I mean, there are numerous of them. For scientific writing, Chicago style of writing is one actually. Okay, so likewise, it's kind of like this. So this basically they are suggesting you better write your code this way. So that's the style guide, and Google has their own, which is also a really good one. I mean, two popular style guide for Python is actually their own, and Google one is also really good because Google put really good thoughts on their development, and they made it public as well, which is also I recommend either one. You can pick either one, which is fine, but pick one and then stick to that. Okay, so it's a really lengthy document because again it's actually suggesting all the thing, but for you check on function and variable names, and that's probably it. So check on that, and then they basically tells you how to uh, pick a name and how to write it, and how to write a function name, and likewise. Okay, so and it's they are kind of expressing this is the way that you should follow. Okay, all right, that's PEP8. It's the style guide, and you can see over here there's part of like two things over here. Don't use less meaningful names. Okay, so you have to be your variable should be um, like anyone else who read it should be able to understand what it is. Okay, so never use single letter variables, even for like the title sandbox, they suggest T for turtle, right? No, don't use that. Okay. um, all right, and then yes, and then this is the, I think, yeah, you can see they're really expressive, right? And it's a set of keywords. Okay, so you can Google that for as well. um, and you can see that there are a whole bunch of them, and then we have encountered some of these already. We will encounter a lot of them. We will not encounter lambda, yield. They are a little bit advanced for this class, and then try, except as well. But many others we will encounter. Okay. All right. Okay. So I think, yeah, I think we can talk about this topic as well. Objects. All right. So let me ask this question. Um, this this code, what is the object I have?
X.
No.
I mean, 10 is the value.
10.
Yeah.
10 is the object. Okay. And then this the variable name is, object name is X. Okay. So its value is 10. So 10 is the object there. It's a number. Okay. So and then here, this is the object. It's a string. What are other things an object have?
They can either be a
Yep.
value, they can be an integer or a float value, or they can be a string.
Okay, I think you gave all the answers. Yeah. So yeah. So basically, yes.
I was gonna say type.
Yeah. All right. So object has three things. Okay. Do they talk about over here? I think, yeah, right here. These are the three things. Okay. Object has a value, and then for x, sorry, for that 10, 10 is the value. All right. It has a type. Okay. So if it is an integer, int is the type, or if it is a string, string is the type. It has an identity. So what is that? So we encountered these two already, right? So we are also familiar with that. Like in this code, right? In this code, right here, that's the value, and it's a type as well. What is the identity? I mean, forget about Python. What is that in terms of real world? What is the identity? Let's say your name. Oh, you. Let's say you. What is your identity?
Well, I mean, I am me, but my name is the box that I put in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So what is the identity?
the object value.
Now we are talking about personal name, persons.
I mean,
Let's say
I'm not my name.
person in the United States.
Yeah.
What is the identity? Yeah, social security number, right? Because name cannot uniquely identify a person in this country, right? Like if you take George Smith, how many George Smiths are here in probably thousands, right? So you can. So you need to have a number. It's a unique number, and then it's a social security number, right? So that's the identity, right? That's the identity. All right. So it's the similar kind of idea in coding as well. So if you take a house in the United States, the address of the house is the identity, right? So that uniquely identify that particular house from that address. That's how you get your mail, right? Because of that unique address, right? So so same idea here in coding, pretty much many languages, Java, C++, C, and then even Python, right? So there's a unique identity for each variable, right? And that also, um, an object basically has that as well. Okay, so three things.
Are you
Yes.
are you saying that if you have x equals 20 and y equals 20, that they have different identities?
That's a good question, we can just check it out right now. Okay, so and that's where the you know the name of object is not that, see that it's not here. They mention name of an object is not part of its thing, right? It has a value, type, and identity, right? So so we can check right now just that, what is this identity and how we check that, because for us, we know our social security number, right? We know our house address, right? So we know our identity. So how can we check the identity of a variable in Python? That's my question.
Maybe similarly to how we check the type.
There you go. Yes, and there's a function for that. Okay, so let's go over here. So I'm going to actually create um, x equals this, let's say 20, right? So anyone knows this one? What's the function? No, type to check type. Yeah, so we can actually print, right? Print type x, because every object has a type, right? And then it will print, okay, this is int, right? So that's that. Okay, well, value, we know already value, it's already seen, right? It's 20, right? So so how do we get the identity? Yes, id function. Okay, so if we so let's print that, print id. It's a built-in function that gives you the identity of an object. Okay, all right, and that's it, and that's the identity. Okay, what is that actually? Yes, that's the location in which the 20 is stored. So you know the memory has memory cell, each memory cell has a unique address, right? So that's that address in which this 20 is stored. Okay, so so that's why, remember I earlier said that x is pointing to that. That's why, that's the meaning of it. It's an address actually, it's an address. So this is actually an address. So so it's the in our memory, so in computer's memory, the memory cells are ordered numerically, right? And that's the number actually. All right, so they are actually, there's a numerical order, and it's actually sequential, so the numbering. So there's another memory cell right at 85 location just below that, and we don't know what that is. Can be from Python as well as somewhere, anything we have in this memory as well. Okay, so so that's actually memory address. Okay, so it actually returns that. So id function returns that. Okay, so now to the your point. Okay, so let's try this out. Okay, so I'm gonna create y also, because it's a really good point you made, to 20. Okay, my question is, if we check y's id, will it have a different identity or not?
Yes.
Let's check that. Okay, all right, so I'm going to check the identity of y as well. All right, all right, so let's check that. Was it yes or not? No, right? They're same, right? And then that's also going to again back my proposal that, okay, we should read x is pointing to that. So both x and y is pointing to the same address, same location in the memory. Okay, so if you want to draw that, okay, so we have this already, right? Let's say this is phi, so y also phi, right? So y also point to the same location. Okay, so imagine I have 1,000 variables all pointing to 5, all has the value 5. I don't have to create copies, right? So it's a strategy to say optimize. So let's say you have 1,000 repeated values like numbers and probably strings, right? Small strings. You don't have to create, you don't have to store each value, same value in different memory cells. You can create, just store one value and make it pointing to that, the address, only the address. Okay. So this is an optimization strategy. It's a little bit of advanced topic, more than this, but for now you can think of, okay, it's an optimization strategy by many programming languages, including Python. Okay. But there's more to this, but we don't have to explore everything in this class. Okay. All right. So, but later on, I will encounter this again, but I will talk more on that at that time, and then how it works when we go to, when we do the type lesson in module 7. We'll encounter this again. Okay. So we'll talk about more that at that time. Okay. So so basically, so that's another reason why the name, so object, now in this case the same object phi has how many names, x and y, right? So having a name to an object is not a unique feature, right? Object has type, an identity, and its value. Okay. So not a name. Okay. So yes, object may have a name, but in this case you can see that its same object has two different names, right? X and y. Okay. All right, got that one? All right, so I think we can stop right now. So we're going to talk about a little bit of mutability later, and yeah, so we will start from there and go to the other topics, guys, on next week. We should be able to finish this module next week. Okay. All right, so let's go to the topic today. So the topic is, some of you guys have done it already, but we're going to have a practice one for the programming assignment, because as of now only 4 people submitted this programming assignment. Okay. So it's the one that Mooney ridership one. Okay. So it's really easy one, but I don't know, you guys need to spend a little bit more time. And I mean, one thing I have seen is that you guys not reading the help giving Python giving you, right? I mean, the error message. Okay. So read it, and then you know that there's a whole bunch of them, but usually the last one is the important one. Okay. So go to that last one and try to make sense of it. If it is a type error, then basically you are you are making a mistake in types. If it's a name error, that means you are using a name that you didn't define. Okay. Those are the things, right? So go check, you can Google that error and try to make sense of it. Or you can you're stuck there, and then hop in the tutor's card and ask them, hey, I'm stuck here, what is that? I mean, that action you have to take it. Okay. So those are the expectation from you. You take an action where you get stuck, right? Because us, we don't know what's going on with you, right? In particular to you, that's the whole reason. Okay. So uh, and then I've seen that I know that it's a whole lot of things to read, right? But I'm trying to minimize that to the fullest. I'm trying my best, but still I see that there are sometimes there's redundancy between Canvas and code check as well. I basically try to keep the same copy in Canvas as well as here too in code check. um, so I have seen that student not reading the inputs I have given in a criteria, right? So for example, let me open the Mooney ridership one right here. Okay. So I have given this table, right? This is the 3 inputs that you have, 3 sets of inputs. One set, and then the next and next. So 3 sets of input here, right? So and then that's under criteria, and then at code check, right, I actually have referred to that, right? I have seen many students in the morning class. One student who pretty much didn't read this table, and then went into basically figure out the code from, you know, the code check output. So kind of, you know, trying to reverse engineer the problem to find the data that I was using in test cases. And then it's a daunting thing if you try to do that, right? I mean, pretty much the reason was, and then the student told me, oh, I didn't see that. I mean, the table of the date, this table, and then it's also here right now, and then and here as well, right? So and then these are the 3 inputs that you have to go one by one and then test out in here, right? So I have given that as well. See that I was really explicit saying that, okay, so which one is
I
that?
know sometimes I
Yeah,
see those and I look, I think that they're only examples.
yeah.
So I don't think
So
that they're actually like part of the assignment sometimes.
yeah, so right here you have to write your function, right? And then the test case, first test case over here. Basically in this one I'm not giving you this one because basically it's similar to what we have in the previous assignment, right? So uh, sometimes I expect you guys to, you know, follow a pattern that you already completed in a previous assignment. Okay, in this case that the other assignment, what is that, the week 5 assignment, the unit converter one, right? In there I actually have given first test case, right? The first one, but right here I'm not giving any of those, but you have, I'm giving it, telling you over here that, okay, you are testing test case 1 here, and then 2 here, 2 here. So those are helpful instruction. Try to read them, okay, please. Okay.
So for the 3 separate cases, we
Mhm.
have to reassign the values.
Yes, yes, okay. So forget about input. You don't have to use input function all the time to test your code with the data value. You can set it, simply set it to a variable and pass that, right? So so that's I think I would say the most fundamental way of collecting input is to set the value just right there, and also easiest. You don't have to type it every time you run, right? So okay, so one thing, so that means you use your function over here, you call it, but before that you will have to create whatever the amount of 3 variables here, right? And then here you have to call the main program, which we have been using, well, couple of several weeks right now, this pattern, right? That's that. Okay, so and then here I have given you this, and then you can do some understanding, like, you know, a couple of examples, but this is required. Okay, so you have to basically create, make sure they are, like, you know, numbered steps, like step 1 collect input, and step 2 in this case calculate average. That's it, as simple as that, return the average, that's it. Okay, so it's not that a complicated algorithm. Okay, and then over here I'm not going giving you anything because we have been now 2 week past doing like, you know, writing functions, right? So we should be capable of writing functions because we have completed that module, right? Module 5, right? So def, your name, parameters, colon, you have to have your doc string, and then return the value, that's it, right? So that's that, but we're gonna just now going to do an assignment for that. Okay, all right guys, so let me open this one. So I'm gonna, so this is a practice assignment for this module. Okay, so I just published it. The assignment is sitting in discussion, sorry, community um, thing, assessment component. Okay, so you earn credit similar to discussions. Okay, so I just published it. It's in module 6. Okay, it's a very similar assignment I created. Okay, all right, and the title is so let's check on that. Okay, so you click on right here. Okay, so this is your view. Okay, click on code check button. It's a exactly like, I formatted it's really similar to what we have in the Muni ridership one. Instead of, calculating daily average number of riders, we are calculating here the number of minutes you spend per day in a course, right? It's a study time average calculation problem. Okay, all right, so let's do this one together, guys. Okay, I think this 10 minutes should be enough. Okay, all right, and there's some guidance. Don't do this way. um, try to do something like this. Okay, so that's what I have been enforced to do. There's a example run over here, so our output should look like something like this. Okay, all right, so basically the it's a similar wording also in here to Muni ridership assignment. Okay, so you have to calculate the average study time. Okay, and then follow this way to format your one. Okay, so there's some guidance, you can read them as well. So make sure to do this. But guys, so this is mine. Don't forget this the pound sign in front. Okay, so and then this is the place where I kind of sometimes say that's redundant. You know. It's in Canvas.
Yeah, I'm looking for what's the name of it? It's what's it called?
Practice.
Practice 7.
So this one right here.
Oh, okay.
Practice code check module 6. Okay. All right. So and if you want, you can create a work out an example. So I'm gonna skip on that. Okay. So matches. So if you want, I would say the previous assignment is a match for this one. Okay. The unit converter one is a match. Yeah. Okay. So this is my step 1 input. What are we inputting? Yeah, and the course name, right? The all 3, right? So so I would say the course, the days, right? Is that the days? Yeah, yeah, days. Yep, days. And then the number of minutes, right? All right, spent. Okay. All right, so what we have to do next, step 2, it is simple, right? Return the average, right? That's it. Return what is the average. So this, right, divided by this. Okay, okay. But there's a okay, so this basically, that's it. This as simple as that. So 2 lines of code actually. Okay, all right, so now implementation. So let's write this over here. Okay, so def, so this is translation, right? So def, I would say, what kind of a good name for this? Get study or calculate study time average, or get, I'm gonna get study, and you are free to pick any name you want. Okay, but make sure it's expressive. time average. All right, and make sure to write the docstring because there are extra credit for that. Okay, so returns, because always if your function must return, then use the word returns. Okay, returns, because it says what it does, right? Returns the average study time. Okay, and I'm gonna pass these three inputs. Okay, so let's still tap on, and then well, return, right? This divided by so this divided by days, right? Okay, that's it. So the problem is solved now. So now the usage part. Okay, in the main we're gonna basically call. Now this is where we should format our output. Okay, so what should that be? Basically it has to comply this format, right? So right here, and then this wording, right? So that means we need to have this first. All right, so I'm gonna kind of copy that. So this is where few things are tricky to some of you guys. Okay, so I'm gonna print okay, and then I'll change that. Okay, but all right, and I'm gonna basically remove this part. Okay, because we have to first print this one. Okay, and then we have to print all right, according to this log, right? So this part, right? So let's keep that, and this is where the value come. Okay, so and what should that be? You cannot put 30 there, right? No, this should be what? That's the average, right? And it should come from our function, right?
So you put a curly bracket?
Yeah, so we put it okay, so that's this part I missed actually over here. So put that, and then it's a f string, right? Because I asked you guys to do that over here. See that? That's where you have to read, read this part very carefully. Okay, so f string. So f, right? We start with f. All right, and then right here, right, I should have two curly brackets, and then call to my function. That's it. Okay, but I need to basically collect my data as well, so I'm going to do that. Okay, so let's say we wrote that, and then right here, and then let me go to the end, and then close the for, and then basically this one need to be coming from the course, right? So this has to be the course. Okay, all right, so and then here, before we do all of this, we have to collect this data, right? So course equals so let's I'm gonna go to the table and then get those values, guys. Okay, because it has to, yeah, I'll come back. Yeah,
So do we have commas for those curly braces?
no,
And we don't need the parameter name in the curly brace.
we need, right? So right here I put, see that, for the course. So let's get the data value over here from this table. So it's 4 and 420, right? So so this is the one, right? 4 and 420. Yeah, I'm gonna come back. Yes. So course is this, and then the days is 4. So these are simply, we are setting these values, and minutes is actually 420, right? Okay. right? So basically these are the, what do we call these values in terms of function call? These are arguments, right? These are arguments. So see, here are the arguments, right? So and then I need to use this one. So let's try this one particular, just one output, and then see if that works. Okay, and it probably complains, so I'm gonna actually put this here for now, and then this is supposed to be main. Okay, code check. All right, I think okay, so let's see what it is. I made a mistake. Undetermined string literal detected line 83. So line 83, there's a problem. Syntax error, unterminated string literal. So that means it's saying that, okay, so your quotation is not closed properly. Okay, so let's fix that. It's because I have 2 over here, right? That's why. So I should actually remove that. Let's see. According to minutes. Yeah, so now it's good. So let's try now again. All right. Now we can see that I didn't try the second and third data set yet, right? So it went this way, right? So it looks like there's a problem, right? So because I should have 3 lines, I only have 2 lines over here, right? So let's fix that. Okay. So how do we fix that? So it's actually supposed to get a new line right here after this dot, right? So right here I should have a new line, right? So so I actually have that. No, not right here. Right here after 105 I should have a new line, right? So right here I should have a new line character. Okay, so like that. Okay, let's try that. Okay, all right, I got 2 correctly now. So the last one is not matching yet properly, right? Minutes were spent studying CS 110 A per day. Yeah, I will. So what's missing here? It's the dot. The last dot. See that last dot is missing. All right. So let's fix that too, right? So the last dot right there. Okay. So let's check that. Oops. What was that? Oh, yeah. I should have replaced that. Okay. There you go. Okay. All right. So now we're gonna try again. Now we can see that, right? The first input is matching, right? So now all you have to do is, unfortunately we don't have TAs today. I'll take a look, okay? But I'm gonna finish this first because we are going about the time right now. Um, so basically what we have to do is just copy paste this, okay? And then here, and then change the values to the other set, that this one, this line, that's it. Okay, and then here for the other one. Okay, so this is the first set, second set, third set. The first set, this line, and then second set, third set. All right. Okay, so all that's all you have to do, guys. Okay, so make sure, why you would strive to format it here rather than here. Let me ask this question, one last question. Why not doing this f string thing over here rather than here? We learned that strategy already in this class, right? You can return this whole thing, you can return this whole thing here as well, but I didn't do that. I only returned my average. That's correct, but that's not the most important reason. We already learned the reason. Imagine, and if I do so, I will this function will become too special, right? Imagine I cannot use this, then if I cannot use this function for calculating this average and do some other calculation with it, right? It's too special. So you can format your result whatever the way you want in the main program. Yes, okay. All right, what do you want to do? Okay. Okay. Okay, let's check out. Okay. All right, let me take a look. Okay. Yeah, it's an indentation error. So you are not okay. So see that. So you are not aligning. See that all of your code should align to the first letter of the function, which is M, right? So you are beyond that. That's why. See that it's an indentation error, guys. Again, see that. See the alignment, right? For function code, always start your line with the place aligned to the first letter of the function name. Okay, see that C is aligned to M. Always do that. That's the strategy. Okay, for functions. All right.
It seemed to, but it didn't seem to like it for some reason.
Yeah. So then let's read the error message. What is it? It's saying type error, and then okay. So function takes 0 positional argument, but 3 were given. So the reason is your function. See that you didn't write any input parameters, but you are giving 3 here. So you have to have 3. Okay.
So this is right here.
So here's what you should have. See that?
Okay.
Okay, so you missed that. That's why. Anyone having issues? How's it going? All right, good. You can now. You know what to do now. Let's just try to match this to match this one to this, and likewise. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're good. We are about the time, guys, but that's okay. Okay, it's okay to take 2 times. You also, yeah, you're good. Good. All right. How's it going?
No, I didn't get it at all.
Okay. So no, you cannot. Why it's down below, right? You hit the. I think you hit the uh, enter key, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Shall we type down what I have the same way I have? All right. So this is what I have. So this is what you should have in your function. And remember, guys, the programming assignment is really similar to this one. It's just different context. That's it. So and then type this thing like this. Okay. And then I was to give me 1 second. I want to show guys one more strategy, and you can see that code check kind of unfortunate. It actually scrolls to the right and left, so it's actually hidden, right? If you want to avoid that, you can do this. I think it should work on the code. Yeah, not from the string. If I do this, yeah, it should work. Yeah, so let's check that. Yeah, it worked. Yeah.
Does it fail still?
Yeah, but that's fine. I'll fix that. All right. So, oh, now you can fix it. It's just this is not matching what we have here. It's a simple adjustment you have to make. Okay. So yeah, you copy, but you have to change these values to other classes. See that you have the same value right now. This is the
So I choose a number?
no, it's given in canvas, right? Go to the this one. So this should be, see, this is the first set of values. This is the second set, third set. So you have to change accordingly. Yeah. So how was it?
It's
Yeah.
great. No, I'm super
I
duper
just
close.
I just took a picture of
Okay.
the code and I'm just gonna input
This
it.
weekend I'm gonna be all caught up. We had like some math stuff going
Oh,
on.
you're
and I
good.
just-
Yeah,
okay,
you're good.
100% all
Just
the random stuff.
yeah. So I did this one for for a practice. Yeah, I mean the Mooney one is exactly similar to this, just a different context. That's it. Okay. So try to follow that. Okay. So I'll post my solution. Okay.
You know, so I don't really feel that well. I was getting cut out right now because just the idea of talking and sleeping is like drawing me in. But I'll definitely fix you about this weekend. Like if you have time, seriously, like only get.
And I need to change these values to a new class. Okay, that's why guys, it's So this is going to be this.
Okay, I did that, but it didn't seem to. I changed everything, but still, for some reason.
Yeah, don't worry. So it's just, you know, it's just gonna 7 and 300, 7 and 300. And this is going to be this one. How was it? Did you cut it? Okay. Okay.
I had the repeating them.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It was
You have to change the values. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. 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 And 3 and 500. I know that. That you can do. We can do it later. Don't worry. Okay. Bye. All right. You're welcome. 3 and 500. So that's actually, this is for the discussion actually. So this one, yeah. So yeah. So you don't have to post anything. Just do this one. That's it. That's for the discussion. Yeah. Practice. Yeah.